Good afternoon and welcome to the Oklahoma City Board of Adjustment meeting for December 2nd, 2010. If you haven't already done so, please silence any phones or other noisemakers you might have. And we've got quite a few people. If you're here to talk about a case, please come up to the podium and give us your name and address. If you're here to speak against a case or have questions, you'll come up to the side podium and again state your name and address and keep all comments directed to the board, please. So, first item is approval of the minutes of the November 4th, 2010 meeting.
So moved.
Second. Motion and second. Record your votes. Minutes are approved. Next item is continuance request or withdrawals.
We have several asking for continuance today. Item number 2, case number 13353. Item number 3, case number 13354. Item number 4, case number 13355. Item number 7, case number 13358. And item number 20, case number 13350 are all requesting a continuance to January 6th.
Is there anybody here that was here to speak about any of those cases or has any problem with those being continued?
Move all the continuances read.
Motion and a second. Please record your vote. Do we have a second? Sorry.
Oh, we had a second,
Okay.
yes.
We are continued those cases to the next dates. Nothing on the consent docket, so we'll move on to items requiring separate vote.
Item number 1, case number 13342, application for special exception of AmeriRoyal Energy, Inc. to allow a disposal well located at 19222 Southeast 146th Street. We do have protest.
Good afternoon. I'm Wayne Smith here on behalf of AmeriRoyal Energy to discuss this case for a request for special exception to convert this existing oil and gas well to disposal service. Be glad to have to answer any questions you might have. While you're looking at those protest letters, it might remind you of a previous case that I was here on behalf of Arrowhead Energy. Arrowhead Energy's well, the operation of this particular case in relation to Arrowhead's, they're identical as far as the well depths, the zone of disposal, the purpose, etc. And there's roughly 2 miles distance between the two wells. So we are in the same area. This is in Section 22 versus the other well was in Section 9. So the concerns by the public over the Garber-Wellington are exactly the same ones that we have gone over in the past with the other case. I do have the map of the Garber-Wellington with me in case you're interested. But this well has steel casings, the cement. It is a fairly new well. It was drilled in 2007. The zone of interest for disposal was one that is non-commercial. In other words, it produced more water than it produced hydrocarbons. So what we want to do is to use it to facilitate the disposal of salt water from an adjoining well in the same Section 22 just to the east, where we would move the fluid from the producer to this injection site via pipeline.
Seems to me that we had some additional requirements for you on that last saltwater well that was in the Garber-Wellington. Is that correct?
That's correct. It was a down gradient monitoring well, which is we can do in this case also if necessary.
I'd be inclined to require that, as we did in the past. And you're agreeing with that?
Yes, we can put in a monitoring well.
Is that the only thing that we...
Is the protester here?
No one signed up to protest. This was just a letter, correct?
Oh, no. She said she's going to be here.
The one protest that was in your packet, I've talked to him this morning, and he still is wanting to protest, but he was not going to be available today.
Is Miss Mary McElfresh in attendance? we do have a protest letter from her that's part of the record. But, was there anything else we required last time in that Garber-Wellington well besides what?
I was absent. I don't recall. I don't know. I mean,
I don't remember exactly what the requirements are, but I think, before we move forward, we need to remind ourselves of exactly what the conditions of that approval were.
can you tell us what those were?
Well, I didn't bring my copy of the order with me for that previous well, but to my recollection, it's the monitoring well and the fact that it be piped and not trucked into the site, that completion operations would be done daylight only. In other words, time that a rig would be there would just be in the daylight only.
I actually do have a question. One of the protest letters in a different case mentioned some seismic activity in Dallas-Fort Worth, and I just did a little Google search of that just to kind of understand that myself, and it was stated by this SMU and UT had done a study that found plausible cause that saltwater injection disposal wells had been a possible cause for some seismic activity. Could you address that?
That's
Not that specific case, but the potential problems of that?
the only way that you can physically create a seismic event by injection is to inject fluid at a rate that creates pressure greater than the natural rock strength. That's called hydraulic fracturing. In the case of a disposal well where we are not using any additional pressure energy to introduce the salt water into the zone, you don't have that.
Okay.
You really can't move the rock just by feeding it fluid. You have to introduce additional energy, and substantial energy at that, in order to have these occurrences. Then, to further complicate that, the earth moves constantly. The rocks move under your feet all the time. You just don't feel it. When you do get a magnitude of movement, yeah, it does register, but the earth moves constantly. We call it settling for buildings and so forth, but it's very simply the ground's moving under your feet.
I appreciate the explanation. So you're saying most likely they were using additional pressure in those particular wells in the Dallas-Fort Worth area?
Yes.
The wells
Yes.
that you're doing, you do not use additional pressure?
We will be doing this at virtually vacuum surface pressure because the particular disposal zone has a very high flow capacity. You don't have to force the water into the zone, so we don't introduce that additional energy into the system.
and you're going to pipe the water in for disposal, or are you going to truck it in?
No, it would be piped. This well, the producer is just about 1,700 feet or so to the east. It's very close by.
I move to approve on the conditions we've discussed, other than the requirement, just like the prior approval to the well is very close, other than the idea that we don't require trucking, and that the water can be piped into the location.
Okay.
And that means that the previous order, the conditions of the previous order would be the conditions that are a part of the approval
Exactly.
that we're considering today.
Yes.
Motion, is there a second?
I thought he was going to second it. Did you second it? I'll second it.
And you agree to those conditions, then, correct?
Yes, we do.
Okay. There's been a motion and a second. Please record your votes. That is approved. Thank you.
Thank you.
That's why you didn't.
The next item is item number 5, case number 13356, request of use variance of New Dominion for permit to drill an oil gas well located at 17917 North Indian Meridian.
Mr. Chairman, members of the Commission, members of the Board, Dennis Fox. Jerry Breaux is here, and as you can tell, this item and the next item will both be on one pad site. One of the wells will be deviated to the north, and one will be deviated to the south as far as the bottom hole location. The cases that were continued, we got a hold of the neighbors. That is approximately a mile to the west, those cases, and we're going to meet with them. We know of no protest on this case, or these two cases, but we're here to answer any questions if you ever have any. I've got aerial maps that will show the rural nature of the area. As indicated, in order to be able to produce the hydrocarbons on the south, our thought was let's go to the north of 178th Street and go where there's not residential units and produce from there. If you have any questions, we're here to respond.
There's no unfavorable conditions. There's no protest to this particular case.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion and a second to approve the case. Please record your votes. You are approved. Item 6 is, well, should we read that and we'll vote on that?
Item number 6, case number 13357, request of use variance of New Dominion for permit to drill an oil gas well located at 17921 North Indian Meridian.
Now, I'm opposed to this one. I'm kidding. Move to approve.
Second.
Motion and a second to approve that case. Please record your votes. That's approved as well.
Thank you very much.
Next
Item
case.
number 8, case number 13347, request of Devon World Headquarters for a variance to permit the installation of one freestanding accessory sign in the right-of-way and 2 attached signs with less clearance above the ground than required, located at 333 West Sheridan Avenue.
Thank you. Name's Rob Reynolds with Hines. We're development managers for Devon Energy. Here to introduce 2 signs. I brought David Clark with me, the signage designer on the project. They'll present the 2 signs for us today.
Good afternoon. Here's the plan showing all the signs that are on the exterior of the building, the signs that we're talking about today. The monument sign type 1, is right here at the west entrance of Devon Energy Center, and the 2 that have an issue with clearance are on either side of the auditorium, on the north and the south here. The monument sign, we're locating it in a planter, and we need to keep the footer separate from the underlayment for the surrounding walls and stairs and such, and to move it back behind the property line would actually put it in a sidewalk, so that would create a hardship that we would like to avoid. Where it's located right now doesn't affect pedestrians at all. Also, we want to keep it where it is because it's going to be within the best sight lines for vehicular traffic traveling north and south on Hudson Street. It's fabricated out of stone, stainless steel, and glass, and is internally illuminated. And this shows a little bit better the location that we're talking about. And you can see that it actually straddles the property line, and it only extends about 2 feet in front. This is a big view of the auditorium. You can see the sign in the bottom left hand of your screen is actually fairly small. This is a little bit closer up. Those are the 2 locations. Let me back up just one here. What we're doing is we're mounting the letters that say Devon Auditorium directly to the top of the mullion that sits right over the doors, and I think we're a couple inches below the requirement, and we just don't want to raise those letter ups on little sticks, that would not look so good, and this doesn't affect pedestrian traffic in the least. They're already walking underneath the mullion, and this is actually on top, so it doesn't create any hardship there either. Those are the 2 locations.
Any questions? Based on the fact that the DDRC has approved it and there are no unfavorable considerations, I move approval.
Second.
Motion and a second to approve. Motion and a second to approve the application. Record your votes. You approved. Thank you.
Thank you.
Item number 9, case number 13343, request of BJM Properties for a variance to the side yard setback located at 12148 Northwest 133rd Street.
Good afternoon. My name is Zia Munir. I'm an attorney for BJM and also Home Creations. I submitted a letter from our field coordinator describing the fact that Colony Point is currently zoned with 0 lot lines. That makes the construction of our homes kind of an odd proposition. Allowing for a 5-foot setback on either side would be the normal kind of construction that we do, allowing for the air conditioners and other items on either side of the home. It shouldn't have any adverse impact on the public and should enable our development to go normally.
Any questions?
Go ahead.
Motion to approve?
Second.
Motion and a second to approve the application. Please record your votes. You're approved. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Jim, your light's not coming on.
Mine isn't? Okay, excuse me.
Jeff.
Jeff's is. Jim's not.
Yeah, Jeff.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry, I got the wrong
Jim's
chair.
missing.
I got the wrong chair. Yeah, he is. Sorry about that.
Item number 10, case number 13344, requested Devin Sawzak for a variance to permit a single-family residence encroaching the 20-foot platted front building setback located at 17409 Hawksview Court.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and other members of the board. Devin Sawzak, I am the resident there at 17409 Hawksview in the Rose Creek addition. I guess basically we built a home 3 years ago, kind of relied upon the architect as far as the size of the front closet and the position of the home. After living there for 3 years or so, basically my wife has become unhappy with the closet, and so I've looked into on different locations on the property to expand or add a new closet, and really the only viable option based upon the current construction of the home is kind of an extension there on the front, which would infringe upon the front property setback. I have talked with every member on my cul-de-sac about it. I've staked it out, brought them over and showed them what I was planning on doing. There's no opposition to it. I've also talked to the Rose Creek board there, Bob Ward and Tom Hodgkins, who's basically are on the development committee out there. They don't have an issue with it as long as the city doesn't. I would also say that I've also had the utilities come out and mark the property as far as where the current utilities are. The added or add-on would be at least 14 feet from all of those utilities, so I think there's plenty of room as far as that goes. The other thing that I would say, which is kind of unique about the property, is the property just to the south of mine. If you look where it kind of extends out there based upon the building requirements of that lot, there's really no viable way for them to use the front, I guess that would be northeast section of their of that lot for construction. So it's not like there'll be another house or building or something that it's butting up against.
How does it relate to your house? I mean, I see the add-on there, but how does it relate to your bedroom right inside that area?
It is. What you see right there where that 13 feet across is, that is the current closet. There's a diagonal of the home that actually comes out about, I would guess, maybe 3 feet there, which is the current closet. That entire 13 feet that is there isn't all closet. There's a bathroom and other things that take up one, side of it. But yes, it would basically be just an extension of what's currently of the current roof line.
One thing I noticed looking at the aerial map was that that extension comes out right where the cul-de-sac starts to turn.
Yeah.
So it makes it much less noticeable than if it was just on a straight street. Just something I think that could be a bit of a peculiar condition.
Oh, I see.
There's what I printed up there just to.
They won't let you in there,
What's that?
They won't let you in there to go look at it.
Oh.
Is that a plan?
I'm kidding.
Well,
I didn't have a chance
name.
to go by there.
Is that a plan that you have,
Huh?
Mr. Baker? Is that a floor plan?
This is a
sketch. Okay.
schematic of the elevation on that deal there.
Okay.
Yeah. Looks nice. Yeah, the only concern I had is it blocks some visibility from the neighbor next door, but, you know, nobody there to protest that, so.
You want to see those?
Yeah, and I did contact that neighbor and discussed it, and they didn't have an issue. Of course, they haven't built on the lot yet.
Somebody does own that lot?
Yes.
It is? Good.
And as you said, it would be tough for them, they can't build in that front corner anyway.
Well, at least you're talking to the guy that would be on there, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's Charles and Neva Kilburn on the lot next door.
Okay.
Any other comments or questions?
Move approval.
Second.
Motion and a second to approve the application. Please record your votes. You are approved. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Item number 11, case number 13345, request of Studio Architecture for a variance to permit a 12-foot tall fence located at 1780 West Memorial Road.
Good afternoon. I'm Asa Highsmith with Studio Architecture, representing Church on the Rock at 1780 West Memorial Road. We have two large mechanical units that serve the sanctuary for the church that sit in a mechanical courtyard on the south of the site. This we're hoping to screen those mechanical units with a fence that would be 12 feet tall. Mechanical units themselves are 12 feet tall. So we believe that I think the zoning ordinance limits it to a height of 8 feet. At 12 feet, then it would adequately screen the mechanical units.
What is the fence material?
What is the fencing material?
Yeah, sorry.
It's decorative vinyl. It's something that's been used on the site previous.
Church owns all this property behind anyway, then, yeah.
Yes, sir.
It owns all of that, yeah. I think it met all the statutory standards. I move approval.
Second.
Motion and a second to approve the application. Please record your votes. You're approved. Thank you.
Thank you.
And Jim didn't vote again.
Slacker.
Item number 12, case number 13346, request of Jimmy Smith for a variance to the minimum 5-acre lot size, the minimum 150-foot lot width, and to permit 2 dwellings on 1 lot located at 4020 Southeast 89th Street.
Yes. I ain't got really much to say, but just, you know, if I can move this trailer house into this old lot, so.
I guess you're planning on taking down that existing house then, is that correct, once you move the trailer home on? Or are you taking it, are you raising the house, I mean demolishing it, or?
We're just going to use it for storage for right now. After we get all the stuff out of it, we're going to tear it down eventually.
How long are you going to use it for storage?
Oh, for probably maybe 2 years, max.
Do you have a copy of the staff report?
Yes.
Do you? Can you address on the back page this unfavorable considerations? Number 2?
Yes.
Can you tell us what your thoughts are about the area, that most of the houses around there are regular site-built houses?
Really, I can't, no, I don't have nothing to say about it, but it's a pretty good sized plan.
What would be your hardship? Why wouldn't you put a site-built house here? Why wouldn't you put a regular
House?
regularly constructed house here?
I don't know, we decided to buy this trailer house, and then we'll probably eventually build a new house if we sell this trailer house.
Okay. So you would consider building a house there eventually?
Yeah.
So if we give you a certain period of time, if it was the board's desire, if we gave you a certain period of time to have this here, but not permanently, not from now on, you could live with that?
I guess we could, yeah.
How long could you live with?
I don't know, sir.
I mean, 5 years? Okay? Okay. But if we felt like it needed, in the long term, needed to have a home there as opposed to a mobile home,
Right.
could we come up with a time frame on that? I mean, that would be my opinion anyway. It would give you a certain amount of time to do that.
It's up to him. This is my dad. He's the one that bought the place.
And sir, if you'll just give us your name and address in the microphone, just for a matter of record, thank you.
Okay, what you need to know?
Would you give us your name and address first, please, in the...
Hmm?
Your name and address. Tell them your name and your address.
Oh, my name, Jimmy Darrell Smith, and my home number is 799-2181.
And your address, sir, just for the record?
Your address.
Sorry.
Yeah. 4020 Southeast 89th.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. Just get it all on the record, that's all. Thank you. Go ahead, Mr. Baker. I think you...
Sir, what you're asking for permission to have a mobile home here, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah.
For an extended period of time, okay?
Yeah, and then I'm going to tear the old house down. As it get tore down, it'll be tore down.
Okay.
So after I get mobile home set in there, it'll take me a while to get it tore down.
Okay. So if we gave you 5 years to have it like that, would that be enough?
How long?
5 years?
5 months. No,
5 years.
Long enough.
5 years. So
5 years, yeah. Give me 5 years, I'll have it all tore down.
No, I think you misunderstood what Mr. Baker is trying to make the point on, is that mobile homes are generally not in that area.
Yeah, it's going to be 50 foot from that...
Let me go ahead and finish.
From the house.
So what you're
on the
asking...
east side, 50 foot out where my garden used to be.
So what you're asking for, though, is to put a mobile home in an area where there are no mobile homes.
Right.
And the condition is to build a regular constructed home out of, on-site built, not a mobile home. And we're talking about giving you 5 years to do that and to tear down the house that's currently on the property. You understand that?
No, I don't, Master.
Do you understand it?
I understand that.
Okay. Can you explain it to him?
Yeah. Man, I'm tell you, you got 5 years to tear down the old house and put a new house
The
back
homes
up.
would be allowed if it was 5 acres.
Oh, I got to build a new home there. I can still live in my double wide.
Not after 5 years.
Another 5 years.
Well, the neighbor down the street there, east of me, has got a double wide mobile home on.
Mobile home on anyways.
Now, and the old house still standing there where it used to be.
Yeah. That's how it's been, but it may not be that way today if they came back in today, see?
Well, I know.
Okay.
I was just trying to,
And
I was wanting to kind of halfway remodel it a little bit if I could. One of these days. And move my mobile home out of there.
Well,
But if you give me 5 years, I'll tear it down.
Now, we're not trying to make you tear the house down if you want to remodel it. If you need to put a mobile home on there to live in that mobile home until you remodel, that's great with us. We'll let you do that.
Yeah.
What the issue is, two issues. You cannot have 2 houses on one lot, and you're not allowed a mobile home on a lot less than 5 acres. Those are the 2 issues. So I think what's being proposed is a time frame.
I won't be around 5 years from now.
We hope you are.
You know, way my health's getting,
okay, well, I'm going to make a motion to give you 5 years
okay,
on that, okay?
I'll go
There's
over
no other discussion?
Is there an understanding of what the 5 years is for what?
Yeah, I'm going to make a motion that he can have the mobile home on there for up to 5 years. And if he chooses to remodel the existing house, then he'll have to remove the mobile home within that 5-year period of time. Or he can tear down the existing house and build a new one and remove the mobile home.
Second.
Okay.
Okay? All right. Well, I'll tell them again.
I have one more question, though. I think they're suggesting maybe that they're going to use the current home for storage, and are we not going to permit that, period? So he's got to tear down the current house?
No?
He'll have 5 years to either remodel and live in the existing home and remove the mobile home, or he can tear down the existing house, remove the mobile home, and build another site-built home on the property.
Okay.
5 years.
All right. 5 years.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
There's a motion and a second. Please record your votes.
Huh?
All right.
That is
5 years.
approved. It is approved as stated by the motion.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
You're welcome.
Item number 13, case number 13348, request of Roadstar Holdings for a variance to the landscaping and screening requirements and to permit parking and maneuvering in the right-of-way located at 12121 Northwest Expressway.
Thank you. My name is Brian Kuhn with Kuhn Engineering, representing the applicant. This property is out on Piedmont Road, Northwest Highway. There used to be a gas station out there for many, many years, was torn down several years ago. Piedmont Road is 56 feet west of where the section line is, so none of the existing right-of-way is being utilized now. We've met with ODOT numerous times. As your staff report says, the division engineer with ODOT is okay with what we're doing. Legal with ODOT is fine. So we're just requesting a variance that we can use it for parking and driveways. And we're also requesting on the, to the east of our property is about a 1-acre piece that a bank owns that is currently zoned AA. They originally owned this site and they traded sites. So it will be brought back before you someday for commercial use of some kind. So we're asking for a variance to not do the landscaping strip or the site-proof fence on that east side.
They're probably not coming here, though, for that.
Do what?
They're probably not coming here for that, though.
Probably not coming here for that, no.
Move approval.
Second.
Motion and a second to approve the application. Please record your votes. You're approved. Thank you.
Thank you.
Item number 14, case number 13351, request for variance of express lighting and sign to permit a freestanding sign exceeding the maximum square footage and height requirement located at 4801 Northeast 122nd Street.
Well, board members, my name is John Cranston. I'm with the Express Lighting and Sign. I represent the applicant, Pilot and Flying J Restaurant.
Could you pull that microphone up just a little bit?
Sure, sorry.
There you, thank you very much.
Do I need to repeat it?
If you would, please, yeah.
I'm with Express Lighting and Signs. I represent Flying J and Pilot. They have an existing sign at their location right now, and the incandescent, the electronic sign that's on there right now is an electronic incandescent message center where their messages used to travel across. And it's been too costly for them, since it's probably 12 years old, for replacing the lamps and the technology and just the OG&E kilowatt hours to run that thing. It's running about $3,000 a month just to run that old incandescent. And they've decided that all of these other truck stops around are now putting their price signs, their LED price signs up there, which are static signs, with a diesel and regular sign up above. And we currently did this about a year ago out at Morgan Road when ODOT had asked them to take part of that road back, and they did some widening along Morgan Road and ODOT. And I was able to permit that particular sign, which is a lot more square footage than even the sign that's out there right now. And this sign was permitted in 1998, and we do have a permit for it. However, when I went in to get the permit for this particular sign now, the ordinance had changed from 2 to 1, from 2 square foot of sign to 1 linear foot of frontage, to 1.5 to 1 now. So now it will only allow us to have 424 square feet rather than the 620 square feet that we need to complete the sign. We are removing a sign. We're removing the Country Inn bar and grill out there, but it still puts us over the square footage because the way the ordinance changed, their frontage along I-35 never changed. It's just the ordinance change in that district that said they can only now have 1.5 square feet of signage for every square foot of frontage. And so they're asking if they could have a variance for that particular additional square footage, since they already have a sign that is permitted. The other end of that, if they weren't able to get the variance, they'd probably go back in there and keep what they have and try to repair the old incandescent. But I know how traveling and scrolling message centers have been, and this is a good way to get rid of one of them.
So for argument's sake, you can't replace the incandescent sign with the new one in the same size?
Well, if you see the incandescent, the reason we had to go a little bit larger, that particular doesn't show that, but on the is there one other one? Yeah, right on this particular one right there, where they have to have the unleaded and the diesel up above the actual digital themselves. That takes a certain amount, and that's why they had to increase the cabinet size a little bit. Those will be static. I mean, they're not
changing.
They're not changing and flashing and everything.
Yeah.
I mean, it's actually it's a smaller square footage sign by probably almost 80 feet than the one we just did out of Morgan Road.
So the sign ordinance changed since Morgan Road.
When did the last sign ordinance change, did you? Last year?
Yeah.
And my guess is if our other board member was here, he might have something to say on this, given that the Planning Commission probably worked quite hard on this new sign ordinance and had very good reasons why they made changes. Unfortunately, he's not here to comment to that, but I know our planning commissioners worked hard on making changes to the sign ordinance to better, allow for a little bit better beautification along our corridors.
Well, they do have the right, though, to have that even larger amount up there. So, I mean, there's some mitigating circumstance here. I just want to be sure that you weren't just the nature of the deal, that you weren't just getting more electronic sign up there just to get it up there.
No. The one picture that showed it earlier. See, when they had the incandescent up there, they traveled there.
That's scrolled across there?
Huh?
That's scrolled across
there?
there?
It's all scrolled across there. And these will be just like the Flying J at Morgan Road, the Loves and all that. I mean, they will be static burn.
Yeah, that's an advantage, too. So I move approval.
Second.
Motion is second to approve the application. Please record your votes. You are approved. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you. No.
Item number 15, case number 13352, request of Future Investments Company for a variance to permit 2 entryway signs located within the street right-of-way and site triangle located at 9403 Winding Hollow Road.
Good afternoon. Tim Johnson with Johnson Associates representing the applicant, and here with me today is also David Yost and Joyce Brown, also the applicants. This is a unique situation, as your staff report kind of is lengthy with regard to what's gone on. This is a left-behind 5-acre tract of land that was a gross 5 acres all the way to the center line of Air Depot in Britain. The entire Apple Valley, estates of Apple Valley, was completely developed, and we've come in, instead of using this for commercial use, we downzoned it to an RA to get these 4 lots. It was a unique situation in that this access to these 4 lots could only be done through a common area. So the homeowners association dedicated an easement, and that's what's shown in yellow. We met with the planning staff. The plat was approved without the request for the additional site triangle at this location, because we don't control this property to the north. There's a house and it's a separate property owner. So there's a common area, street coming off of Britton Road, Winding Hall Road, and then from a physical standpoint, this was really the only place we could get access onto this land, because Winding Hollow drops south to meet Britton Road, but the land actually rises as you go towards Britton Road. So as Winding Hollow goes up, the land goes this way, and this was really the only spot we could get good access with clear visibility. So the plans were done, approved, Public Works approved the fact we didn't have a site triangle. We applied for a revocable permit to put decorative walls in that are also retaining walls, because this lot at this point is about 7 or 8 feet taller than our street. So it's a physical issue. We had to break through this ridge of dirt and rock to get access to these back lots. And that process went through fine, and at the end of that process is when we discovered that a variance to the site triangle requirement was necessary. And so that's why we're here. The issue of visibility was a question that came up with the staff when we designed the road, but as you can see by this exhibit, because of the angle of Winding Hollow and the angle that we're approaching Winding Hollow, a vehicle has a clear shot way up the hill, several hundred feet, and one of the negative comments in the staff report was that our exhibit didn't show far enough south, but it's just off the page, is Britton Road. So you can see clearly all the way to Britton Road, and that's where traffic would ingress and egress out of Winding Hollow. So given that and those facts, the mitigating circumstances of the grades, having to gain access, we wanted to have access through the addition, not from Air Depot or Britton Road. And the staff agreed, planning staff agreed that was a better way to do it. The only way to do that was through a common area easement, which we gained here. And as you can see by the sketch, the green property, or the green line is the property that we do not control. It's owned by a private resident. The yellow is the easement that was granted by the property owner association, and the little red dash is the amount of site triangle we would have had to have to meet the criteria. And we would have had to have acquired that off of this property owner. So that's why we're here today.
Does that address an unfavorable consideration that was listed as far as the adequate site distance to the south?
This exhibit shows
this exhibit here today goes much farther than the one in our packet.
It's only, it's about 100 and plus or minus feet down to the right-of-way of Britton Road.
Okay.
South doesn't seem to be that, because most people are going to be turning right to go out of there, probably. But the one on the north side, is it because of the topography or the ownership issue that it can't be pushed back to the west?
The road?
No, the retaining wall.
The topography and the ownership. We have put this wall as close as we can to that property without damaging his landscaping things that's there.
All right.
There's a utility that we would get into as well.
Yeah. Okay.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion and a second to approve the application. Please record your votes. You are approved. Thank you.
Item number 16, case number 13359, request of Vintage Custom Homes for a variance to the platted side building setback located at 5105 Southeast 79th Street.
I'm Kirby with Vintage Custom Homes, requesting the variance on the side building of 5105 Southeast 79th. The section that we're talking about over here, all the front building lines are 20 foot. Every side building lot on the corner lots in that area are 15 foot besides that one corner lot there, which is a 20 foot. It makes it, really small to put a house on there. It gives you only like 45 feet because of the back. Our house is not much wider that we're wanting to putting on there. Just it would only make the back corner cover over the line a couple feet if you had the other line through there. So we're just trying to request the 15 foot instead of 20 foot on the side building line to match everybody else's in the neighborhood.
No unfavorable considerations?
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion and a second to approve the application. Please record your votes. You're approved. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. Too late.
There we go.
Item number 17, case number 13360, request of James and Jolie Sanders for a variance to the minimum 5-acre lot size requirement located at 7600 North Coltrane Road.
Hi, I'm Jolie Sanders, here about 7600 North Coltrane, looking to build our residence on 4 acres instead of the typically required 5 acres.
move that up a little bit if you don't want to spend way over there.
Well, again, there are no unfavorable considerations and many plots of land that are less than 5 acres out there. Yours?
Move approval.
Second.
Motion and a second to approve the application. Please record your votes. You're approved. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Item number 18, case number 13361, request at Mount St. Mary High School for a variance to permit a brick and wrought iron fence in the front yard located at 2801 South Chartel Avenue.
Good afternoon. My name is Chris Stiles. I'm the Director of Advancement at Mount St. Mary Catholic High School. And what we're requesting is we are in 2801 South Chartel, which is southwest Oklahoma City. We're a private high school there in a residential area. We're kind of we look ourselves a beacon of light in that section of town. And we're just looking to make campus improvements is what we're trying to do. Our acreage is surrounded, it's fenced in by an old chain link fence, and we just want to put a decorative wrought iron, brick pillar fence around the acreage of that campus.
I'm just curious, is this part of like an overall campus
Yes, sir.
expansion?
It's really part of our master plan. We just completed a project, redoing our parking lot, our student parking lot, and then but this is part of our campus master plan. Yes, sir.
Any questions or considerations?
Any questions?
Move to approve.
Motion and a second to approve the application. Please record your votes. You are approved. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Did you
Have a good
second
day.
I didn't. I'll second it.
Oh, sorry.
Second.
Going too fast.
There we go. Oh. You're approved.
Motion and a second. Good luck. Oops.
There used to be the neighbors complained about that cul-de-sac that dies right into that school. All the trash washes down, or used to wash down to that area and collect, and it's pretty unsightly for a while.
We're getting there. Our neighborhood's very respectful of our school, our campus, and the church there.
Yeah.
We're making a lot of strides.
Very good.
Good luck to you.
Good luck.
We're missing an applicant.
Do we call the case? Do we call the case?
Yeah, item number 19, case number 13349. This is one that we will need to continue. The applicant has not got the required letter of authorization yet. So we will continue them to January 6th.
Move it continues to January 6th.
Second.
I'm waiting this time. Motion and a second for continuance. For your votes.
Jim didn't vote again.
Got his no vote on the sign for him, Next item is a...
Move to adjourn, huh?
No, we have one more additional item.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You got something else to do?
Adoption of the 2011 Board of Adjustment meeting schedule. There is one correction.
We have one correction on the filing date at the bottom, December 30th, it should be 2011.
Okay.
Okay.
So noted.
So move approval with that change.
Motion and a second to adopt the meeting schedule. My cold talking.
That's true.
Approved.
Move to adjourn.
Second.
We're adjourned. Thank you.